Unmistakably the most known and popular of the South African hiking trails is the Otter Trail. It covers 41 kilometers of South Africa's most rugged coastline and is justifiably considered by many to be not only the top trail in South Africa, but ranked amongst the best in the world. With 8 significant climbs, some as high as 2,700 meters towards the sky, this experience is a must for any adventurer. The Otter Trail was the first official overnight hiking trail to be opened in South Africa in 1968. The trail owes its name to the Cape Clawless otter, which lives in the perennial rivers and marshes along the coast. Vegetation along the way is either fynbos, dense gallery forest filled with ancient giant trees such as South Africa's national tree, the yellowwood, or open, rocky sections near the sea with an abundance of wildflowers. There are stretches of pristine beaches, hidden coves and secluded forest pools. The scenery is constantly changing. The weather in the Tsitsikamma National Park can be unpredictable and has a substantial influence on the visual effects of the coastal scenery. Upon arrival at the reception office, ensure that the compulsory check-in and indemnity forms are signed before reporting to the Otter Room. It is advisable that when you get to the Otter Room, to weigh your backpack on the scale provided to determine how much weight you are carrying before you start the hike. In a serene setting, next to a pond, recharge, re-energize, leave your troubles behind and prepare to engage in 5 days of sheer adventure and exclusivity. The trail takes 5 days and the 4 nights are spent in comfortable huts with superb views. Accommodation is in 2 raised wooden cabins, each enjoying sea views from a balcony. The cabin sleeps 6 people in each on triple-decker bunk beds. Many people enjoy the fact that the Otter is a self-guided hike, which is made possible since the route is clearly marked out with painted Otter Trail footprints along the way. Hikers will experience the breathtakingly beautiful terrain along the coastline and will cross through 11 rivers. There is a limit of only 12 hikers per day, which keeps the walk nice and personal. Anyone can do this between the ages of 12 and 65 and should have a fair fitness level. Many hikers tend to do the Otter Trail repeatedly for not only the physical challenge, but the lure of its scenic beauty, which varies continuously along the route. There are many things to see on this majestic trail, but the one animal which is so shy in nature, and of course the animal one would like to see whilst here, is of course the trail's namesake, the Cape Clawless otter. It is the second largest of the freshwater species of otter. Many of the park's terrestrial mammal species are shy and elusive, and mostly active at night. The observant hiker might be surprised with sightings of bushbuck, bushpig, and small spotted genet. Throughout the day, along the trail, dassies can be spotted sunbasking and every now and then amuse hikers for a photographic moment. Occasional sightings, such of the Cape Clawless otter, can be seen in river crossings and sandy beaches along the trail. Scenery along the Otter Trail is constantly changing. There are so many things to attract one's vision. The plant life is a significant part of this trail, as the beauty of various species really is magnificent. The world-renowned Cape fynbos, which takes up 80% of the Cape Floral Kingdom, can be seen along the trail. There are 8,600 plant species of Cape fynbos, of which more than half are endemic to the area. Fynbos is home to a variety and abundance of bird life. Ferns are part of the oldest group of living plants on Earth. On the forest parts of the trail, you will be enclosed in attractive, rich fern flora. Preparation to do the Otter Trail is quite important. The fitter you are, the more you can enjoy the trail, the nature, the scenery, and your relaxed time after each day's hiking. If you decide to train, make sure you focus on endurance and strength. Preferably get your general fitness to a level where you can easily walk on mountainous terrain for 3 to 4 hours. It would be a good chance to get used to walking with a backpack if you start taking this along when you train. It is important to note that you can become so engrossed in the scenery and beautiful unspoiled surroundings, but you have to be vigilant and alert as you traverse over various types of terrain. When buying equipment, make sure you do the necessary research. First-time hikers can be overwhelmed by the wide range available. Shop assistants in specialist stores are an invaluable source of information, as well as manufacturers' catalogs and other literature. Footwear is possibly the most crucial item on the list of things to get. For the Otter Trail, I would recommend wearing medium-weight hiking boots with extra support around your ankles for the boulder hopping that's done a lot on this trail. When trying your boots on in the shop, make sure that you wear your hiking socks so that you get the correct fit. Sandals are good to wear at the huts and are essential for the river crossings. After footwear, your backpack is the next important purchase for the trail. It is a good idea to have your pack properly fitted in store. There are various frame heights and pack sizes, and it would need to be measured according to the length of your torso. Weather conditions can change suddenly, so when selecting your clothing, consider all possibilities. Keeping a cool head in hot temperatures is important, so a wide-rimmed hat is preferable to a peak cap. Many hikers prefer to wear 2 pairs of socks, a thin inner pair and a thick outer pair. You would not want your hiking experience to be spoiled by blisters. When purchasing trousers, consider the option of the 2-in-1 style, where trousers can become shorts by simply unzipping. Other items displayed here are short sleeve tops, long sleeve tops for cold weather, and a rain jacket. Extra care should be taken at all descents, especially on day 1, as your backpack is still loaded with your week's rations. Descents should be approached in such a way that you balance your weight, not to lose your footing. With the help of a hiking stick or holding onto vegetation within close proximity will enable you to descend with ease. On this first day and the initial section of the hike, you will be doing a lot of boulder hopping. Care must be taken in order to prevent injury. Therefore, navigate your way with the utmost of care by maintaining a reasonable and safe following distance. The hike starts by winding its way along the edge of the coastal forest and takes you over rocks to Waterfall River, with its beautiful waterfall that cascades into a large natural pool. You might encounter many of the park's day walkers walking to the waterfall. This is a very popular route to this point. After the waterfall, there is a short climb through the indigenous forest, followed by a descent into the valley. You are immersed in the forest with the sounds of crashing waves when you will suddenly be welcomed by Ngubu huts, the first rest camp of the trail. Tucked away under the trees, it is a striking area in which to spend your first night. Day 2 of the Otter Trail is probably the most varied and beautiful of the whole trail. An early start will not only better your chances of seeing an otter, but it will give you more daylight time to enjoy the surrounds. The trail starts with a steep climb away from Ngubu to the plateau. After Skilderkrans, the trail then descends to cross the Kleinbos River with its narrow gorge, pools and waterfalls, before you can take another detour to the picturesque bay of Blue Bay. With its white sandy beach, it is an ideal place for a relaxing lunch. From Blue Bay, a very steep climb awaits you, but it is not long before Scott Hut comes into view. The huts are situated at the Gelotbos River mouth and sits amongst the arum lilies, the perfect location for the end of your second day. The third day of the trail was the crossing of the Gelotbos River, which flows next to the huts. The trail follows the rocky coastline until the Elandsbos River is reached at about mid-morning. This is a good place for a swim, either in the Brown River water or in the sea. To make the most of your Otter Trail experience, take your time. Explore the hidden paths and let the serenity of your surroundings seep into your soul. The trail continues varying along the shore and the cliff top, passing through unique fynbos until the Lothring River comes into view. The climb down to the river crossing is quite steep, so take it slow here for the group to stay together. At low tide, the Lothring River is easy, but during high tide, or if there have been heavy rains, you might be in for a swim. From here it is about 20 minutes walk to the rest stop for the night, Oakhurst Huts. Although the fourth day is the longest stretch of the trail, the gently rolling terrain is fairly undemanding. Alternating between the coastline and the indigenous forest, the trail leads you to the Blaukrans River after 10 kilometers. The need to reach this river and cross it at low tide makes this probably the most challenging in terms of keeping to the low tide schedule. The view looks quite daunting at the top of the 75 steps down to the river, but this is when you know you are in for an adventure. This section of the trail is marked with photoluminescent or glow-in-the-dark signboards to help the hikers who may have had a pre-dawn start to the day to make the low tide at the Blaukrans. The estuary at Blaukrans is deceptive when first seen from the cliff top. It is wide with a dark hint of the river on the far side. It is important to cross the river within half an hour of low tide, otherwise you are in for a difficult swim and subsequent rock scramble. Before descending into the river, ensure that you measure your height next to a specifically designed height indicator. This height indicator is merely a guideline and level at which you measure yourself, and when crossing the river may fluctuate as a possible result of environmental changes such as shifting of sedimentary deposits in the river. This will enable you to determine whether it is ideal for you to cross the Blaukrans River mouth. Survival bags is a necessity, and make sure that all water-sensitive items like cameras are suitably sealed to protect them. Beware of the waves as you reach the other side of the river. They can knock you off the rocks. Be mindful of the fact that the rocks are very sharp, and wear protective footwear or likewise to negotiate the rocks when you climb out. Beyond the river, the trail climbs steeply to the coastal plateau, from where there are superb views over the coastline. The trail then descends steeply to Andre Huts, which is nestled in the indigenous forest alongside the Klip River. The final day of the trail is a fairly easy walk to Netjes Valley. It begins with a boulder hop across the Klip River before a steep ascent to the top of the cliff. Stop off at the lookout and absorb the feel of it being the last day of your hike. The trail continues along the edge of the cliff with a gentle descent and ascent at Helpmekaar River, where fresh water is normally available. Eventually, Nature's Valley comes into view, and all that's left of this incredible trail is a steep downhill followed by a walk across the sandy beach. Here, hikers will spot the signboard which directs you over the sand dune and follow the jeep track to the Groot River boardwalk, which passes through imposing yellowwoods and white milkwood nestled on the banks of the Groot River to the trail's end in the Nature's Valley rest camp. By this time, you will be filled with joy and a true sense of accomplishment.